Hey out there YouTube, just making a real quick video pertaining to a 1994 Ford F350 turbo diesel. That's it on the rack right there here at the farm. We just bought this thing a few weeks ago from a fella, and we bought it right, I can assure you. It's a beautiful truck, no rust. The problem with this thing though, when we bought it, the brake system was just a mess. The fellow we bought it from was honest with us. He told us, you know, that he put a brand new master cylinder on it, and he did. Matter of fact, I'll show you right here on the dirty bench that I have yet to clean up. Right here it is. That thing's very new. That's what I thought the problem was with this thing, and he did too. And as you can see, we have also installed a new master cylinder on this thing. That didn't fix it. We also put a new ABS modulator on this truck, and I'll show you that here as soon as we get this up in the air. Okay, got her up in the air here now. Had to put you on pause. I didn't figure you want me to waste your time watching this thing go up in the air. I get my cord off my scraper blade here off the back of the tractor. Okay, now I think you guys can see this all right. Right there's your ABS modulator. If you buy a brand new one of them through a Ford dealership, an actual Ford unit, you're probably looking around $500 or $600 for that little piece right there. There's other videos on YouTube that talks about these things that say, you know, you need to buy a Ford unit, yada yada. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. That there is a Reman. I think it's a Cardone or a Centrix or something. 138 bucks. You can buy, what, 4, 5 of those compared to one. I know they're a pain in the rear end to bleed them, because right up here they do have a bleeder screw. And I fought this thing, and I found the best way to get the air out of that thing. You just pump your pedal and bleed it like you do a wheel cylinder or a brake caliper. Here's the trick to it. You need to have somebody else in the vehicle while you're doing that. And what I did, I ran a rubber hose from here off the edge of the bleeder valve nozzle down and had it into a little jug of brake fluid down here on this lift, and cracked that open up here and got the fluid going down through the hose. Made sure there was fluid in the jug down here, you know, where it was sitting. And I had my assistant pump the brake pedal down all the way and then back up. And you can actually hear the air shooting out of that thing going down into the jug. Intermittently, while my assistant was doing that, I had them turn the key in the on position, not start, but on. And if your electronics are working correctly, you can actually feel this thing clicking. There's a little piston in there on a solenoid that works back and forth. That's what controls the brake pressure going to your back brakes. That's all that controls, is the back brakes on this year vehicle. Do not ever attempt to bypass that. If you try to bypass this by like hooking these two lines together to do away with this, you're asking for trouble. You get on a wet road and you got to stab your brakes on, the ass end of your truck will try to pass you. That's what that valve right here does. That's not an anti-lock valve. That is an anti-skid valve. It's a safety valve. It's there for your safety. Do not bypass that thing. You're just asking for problems. Spend the money. Do it right. Fix it. Now, to get back to the problem. I fought this thing for 2 weeks. I've gone through about a gallon of brake fluid. We've replaced, as you can see, brake lines. We've put new calipers and pads on the front. We have ran a new brake line all the way to the back. This brake drum here was bad, so it has a new one on this side, the new drum. New brake shoes, new components inside the drum housing. This drum here was a little worn, but wasn't bad. And you can see the residual brake fluid still kind of hanging up by the wheel cylinder on top of the axle. Could not figure out why in the world I was still having a spongy pedal. You know, just drive you nuts. Well, I found the problem. At least it worked for me. I don't know about you. On these rear brake drums, on this model truck, and I don't know what yours is like, so don't take this to the bank. Inside here, your wheel adjusting screw. Mine were jacked up and seized up. The threads were inside here, and I took that apart and cleaned the threads real good. After you bleed your brakes, after you put your new wheel cylinder or your new master cylinder, after you put your new ABS modulator on, and you get your brakes all bled, which, by the way, here's the sequence. Right rear, left rear, then your ABS modulator. Right front, left front, if you want to. Then you come back again. Right rear, left rear, ABS modulator. You're done. And you want to come back here with a screwdriver, a flat tip, put in here on this star wheel, and you want to adjust that out until it's tight. It means your shoes are tight against your drum. Then you want to knock this thing back down a turn. You come over here to this side. You want to turn this, get this adjusted out, get your shoes against your drum tight, back it off, one turn. Now here's the funny part, and you guys are going to laugh about this, but this is what fixed this truck. I came out here and I read this on another link. I don't know if you can see them or not. Our neighbor down the road there's mowing. See them skid marks in that gravel? You want to get your vehicle up to about 20 or 25 miles an hour and crash the brakes like you have an emergency stop. And you want to do that about 4 or 5 times. And those brakes will progressively get better every time you do that. Then what I did, I brought the truck back in the barn, put it back up on the rack, and rebled my ABS modulator again. And yes, it did spurt some air out of it. Now the brakes are not spongy. They work the way they're supposed to with no problems. And I would imagine with that new ABS modulator working the way it's supposed to, if I did get into an emergency situation on a wet or slick road, I would imagine that I wouldn't have a problem with the back brakes locking up. So that's about all I got for this. I hope this has been informative. It took me a while to get this stupid thing figured out, but we finally got it figured out. I hope you liked the video. Like it if you do. Thanks. Bye.